All right, I can only share in and join in the congratulations, drink it, happy birthday, carry on being so amazing, sky is the limit, as they say. And now we move on with our presentation. All right, my name is Liliya, and I'm responsible for PR and for corporate communications in this organization. And if you just yawned, there's nothing for me to blame you for, because it's 8 something in the morning, and let me say it again, corporate communications. I think this combination of words momentarily makes you sleepy, dizzy, sad, and blue, but I'm gonna use a trick right now. Is everybody ready? I'm gonna pronounce yet another mouthful of a word, a corporate book. And if it produced another yawn from you, maybe you even got away from your screens. I can't really blame you for that. I call you to be frank with yourself. When and how long for the last time have you been reading a book? And when and for how long have you been browsing kitties on Facebook Reel or in TikTok or in Instagram? Unfortunately, usual books cannot compete with TikTok, with kitties. Put aside even the corporate books. When Max Kotin, Max Hello, and me thought about writing Dodo Book 2, we realized that we're vested with quite a complicated task. What we had to do was to make something that's competitive with TikTok. And what are we competing for? The time of our readership. And we also wanted this product to be not just yet another boring corporate bullshit. We wanted to be inspiring, we wanted to be life and engaging, we wanted it to be a narrative, a story that takes your breath away. And we didn't want this Dodo 2 book to be worse than Dodo 1. We didn't want it to make Fast and Furious 2, actually. And we really didn't know how to get started, how to get going. And today I will tell you about how we got going, how we started, and how we ended writing a book. The first stage of creating a book, a product like that, is answering a question, who are you doing this for? When we asked this question to ourselves, who are we doing this for, it became quite clear from the outset. It's for our employees, from Pizza House employees, for our current and future ones, for our clients. Because the first book was really liked by people who never worked at Dodo before. And after we researched our audience, we started looking for the best format. We decided to get rid of the script of the story because it has its own limitation. There needs to be a beginning, there needs to be a climax, and there needs to be an end. Our book is more about a culture, and the culture is a living and a breathing thing. It doesn't have a beginning and it doesn't have an end. What was also interesting about the format? When we launched our first Dodo book in 2017, a couple of formats was tested, and a couple of hypotheses were tested. The first hypothesis was that corporate books are never read, and let's produce a comic book instead. Let's make everything pretty simple. Yes. And a couple of cartoons were published like that, just a few copies. The comics were very simple and were very beautiful, lots of pictures, and people got offended. And the feedback we got, come on, why are you treating us like idiots? Like those who can't read. And we realized quite soon that if people are not motivated to read, you can't motivate them to read. People who want to read, they will read. They will always read, and they will of course get offended when they're being treated like complete dodos. That's why in our Dodo book 2, we continued the format. We preserved the story format, and we preserved the tone of voice. Why the tone of voice is important? It's mega important, because you are what you say and you are how you sound. What was also important for us is not to try to show off and demonstrate our intellectual capacities, but to deliver a message across. We wanted our reader to understand us. Coming back to what I said in the beginning, we have a very wide readership, a very wide audience, and some people reading our book might be the ones for whom the Russian language is not a native one. That's why we decisively simplified it. We decisively avoided any extensive and complicated metaphors and bulky words. Actually, writing simple is very hard, and it's a big challenge personally for me. That's at least one thought that I learned as a lesson. As soon as we identified the audience, the format, and the tone of voice, we started collecting short stories. How did we collect our short stories? When I got prepared for this presentation, I uploaded from my calendar some information, and you will hear an amazing figure right now. According to my Google Calendar, I spent 50, attention please, 50 hours interviewing and talking to people. I interviewed leaders and managers of the managing company. I talked to partners, and thanks a lot to everyone who conversed with me and lended their ears and time. I also did interviews with people from pizza houses, from pizza stores. On Instagram, we launched competitions awarding prizes for the best stories, 50 hours of conversations, and that's discounting telephone conversations. So 50 hours of hard talk. 60, okay, I don't know, but a lot of stories were collected because of that. And out of so many cool stories, how can you choose the best ones to end up in the book? It's a hard choice to make. But the moral helped us. What we selected in the end of the day were the stories that open up and demonstrate and showcase our principles and approaches and values. Because there are so many cool stories out there. But there are not so many stories that teach. There are not so many stories with the essence, with the meaning. After the stories were selected, handpicked, and written down, there came a time when we needed to make our content more diverse. What we got as a heritage from the last book was this amazing thing called a timeline, which tells the story of a company. Some people are just keep moving while I talk. Okay, we also preserved pictures, colorful illustrations that will make text even better and brighter. We preserved the encyclopedia. We also preserved quotes. And what else do you find? You find QR codes. Our book turned out to be quite an interactive piece of reading. By scanning the QR code, you will be able to get to watch exclusive videos. Stop walking by me, please. You can watch exclusive videos that are only accessible if you scan the QR code. So creative stuff is good. All of the illustrations and QR codes, this is all nice and fun, but what was important is to keep the core and stay within the budget, because we realized that it's our partners who will have to pay for the book. And conscientiously and decisively, we decided to print it in just 2 colors, and we chose the standard book option, which is the most popular format in book production. It's very efficient, and only a few waste remains. What's the price? For the set of 2 books? I'm sorry. For the set of 2 books, meaning the first and the second part, you need to pay 150 rubles. According to our data from Dodo pizza houses, 10 new employees come and join the pizza stores. That's why total cost per month are 1,500 rubles, which is not that much. And apart from just creating, writing, and publishing and producing the second Dodo book, already during the production stage, we thought about repackaging our content because the first Dodo book turned into a podcast. And that's a great example of how you can repackage your content. And this podcast became very popular. Each episode is being seen and watched and listened to 20,000, 30,000 times. And that's what we're going to do for the second book as well. We will repackage our content and we will produce a podcast which will be uploaded on our webpage. Right, so we're writing a book. Why are we doing it? What's it in for you? And what of it? Why do we need all those Dodo books? Why corporate literature exists? And when I was thinking to this question, what can I answer to it? I didn't want to go down into commonplace thoughts like you should know and you should love where you live and where you work. I never thought that books are just a cool tool for adaptation and onboarding. These are things that you very well know without even me telling you that. I just wanted to cast a helicopter glance on that. You know, famous professors say that the economy of the future is the economy of knowledge. I think it's wrong. I think the economy of the future is the economy of values. And what's important for our organization today is not just to broadcast its values, but to scale them up and to make them stick. You see, the humanity for so many years haven't yet come up with another perfect way of scaling the values and broadcasting them, but by just telling stories. Because when you tell stories, you can shape a civilization, you can shape a culture, you can create a corporation just by telling stories. So, a story is an important and integral part of a culture. And I believe that the greatest value of Dodo is its culture. Similarly, amazing and unique. This slide is for me to tell thanks to everyone who got engaged. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Vanya. Thank you, Yulia. Thank you, Kirill. Thank you, everyone. All of you. My gratitude goes to you. Thanks a lot for helping us making this book a reality, turning it into something tangible and physical. Thank you for making it happen. Read Dodo book. Read the first one and read the second one as well. Because Dodo books are not just books about a company. These are books about love and about dedication. I wish everybody a perfect week and ta-ta for now.